We are on the air, Pops. What time is it?
It's chomp time!
It is Chomp time indeed. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time podcast. It's been a while, Pops. I think early December. It's been about a month since we did this. How
We
have
had
you
a
been?
victory. We had a victory since the last time we talked.
We did have a victory in the bowl game. This is episode 30. We are going to be reviewing the 2024 Gators football season. Episode 30, I have titled, Pops,
Yes.
Learning to Fly.
Learning to fly. Hey, I remember that from somewhere else.
Man, that's a Tom Petty song. Tom Petty is big in Florida Gator culture,
Yes, he is.
in Gainesville Pass. And we are, as a program, learning to fly. We're going to go over a bunch of things today.
Okay.
Obviously, a season review.
Yeah.
What went right? What went wrong? Who shined? Who didn't? Our favorite games, our favorite play, our least favorite play. Transfers out. Guys declaring for the
You don't want to play for the Gators?
NFL.
Out.
And then we will look ahead to 2025,
Yeah.
including our incoming freshman class and some of the transfers in that have currently committed to us. So,
Can we start the
without
season?
further
Can we
what?
start the season next week?
Oh my goodness. We are excited already, and
Yes.
we've got a full 8 months to go. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, let's get into it. Pops, your thoughts initially on the 2024 Gators football season.
Well, we both at the start of the last season, this 2024 season, predicted that the Gators would go 8-4, and obviously we thought that they'd win the bowl game, whoever they were going to play. So it would be 9-4. We ended up 8-5. Based on where we came from and all of the changes and the injuries and everything else, and winning the last 4 games, pretty damn good year. From where we were to we couldn't wait to get rid of this coach to what he has done in recruiting, what he's already doing in as far as transferring incoming guys coming in. The guy has done a remarkable job, and for all of us naysayers, and I was one of them, that said we can't wait to get rid of this guy. Let me say it: I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong.
I was wrong as well. Season started out, we laid an egg at home against Miami after hearing all off season this is the best roster that he's had. This is the best team I've had since I've been here, was Billy Napier telling us. And I agreed. I saw what we had in place, and we come out against Miami and just look listless.
Yeah.
And Mertz gets hurt, so we get an early opportunity to see DJ against a subpar team in Sanford. And regardless of who we played in week 2, we knew we had something
Yes.
almost immediately.
Yes.
He was throwing dimes all over the place, and I don't care that it was Sanford. And then, so there was a little bit of momentum after the egg we laid against Miami. So we come into the SEC. All right, we got A&M. They got a new coach. Who knows how good they really are? They lost to Notre Dame in week 1 at home, and Notre Dame in week 2, I think, lost to Northern Illinois. So we're like, we don't know how good Texas A&M is. They come out and just bulldoze us in the first half. We're down 20-0. We had like 30 yards at half. We come out in the second half. Mertz throws a pick 6. I didn't think we were going to win an SEC game.
Yeah.
We were 1-2, and against the Power 5 teams, we looked atrocious. So 100% agree. Where we came from after that third game, being 1-2 and finishing 8-5, and I think a key stat, there's tons of stats you'll have, but DJ Lagway, as a starter, is 6-1. As a true freshman starter, playing in the SEC, with a team that was up against the ropes, with a coach that was, everyone in the swamp was asking for him to be fired, much less social media. He went 6-1 as a starter, and the only loss shouldn't even count because he didn't
Georgia.
end the yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
end the game.
yeah,
So he was 6-0 as a starter
yeah,
in games he started and finished.
yeah.
Give me some stats that you saw when you went over the season.
Well, uh, it's very interesting based on the fact that, again, for the second year in a row, we had a couple of transfers that came in that basically led us in receiving.
Yes.
DK had 783 yards receiving, and Badger had 806 yards receiving. Um, Pretty interesting that those two guys, and again, it's kind of goes back to the Pearsall era, 2 years ago, where he finds the right guy, the right fit mix to fit into us, and it worked out perfectly. Now, this coming year, we're going to have some very, very interesting incoming freshmen. We have a couple of veterans that are on the team still, so it'll be a great mix. As far as rushing, well, we found that we have a star, and a future, a future, and I will say this already, an NFL star. This kid,
Hmm.
Jaden Baugh. I mean, this kid is a freshman, carried the ball 133 times for 710 yards with an average of 5.1, 7 touchdowns in limited carries because he was sharing the load, you know, with Montrell and also with Jackson. Uh, this kid is going to be the future, and we are pretty loaded at running back coming into this next year with both Baugh and Jackson. I'm very, very happy, and we got some reserves coming in and helping us there. DJ, as you alluded to earlier, terrific year. I mean, for an incoming freshman against one of the toughest leagues there is in college football. We got some help coming to help him out a little bit as far as a backup. I think that the one of the biggest differences this year was that when we had our first bye, okay, I don't know what happened or I don't know what coach said, but the defense came out like it was a completely different team. Um, I think one of the things that I'm looking over when I look at the incoming uh, roster that we're going to have this next year, we're going to need a little bit of help on some defense because we're losing quite a bit as far as transfers and also portal. Offense, we're in very, very good shape. I think it's defense that we'll have to get some things tied up a little bit. But overall, special teams, all these guys are coming back, so we're all in good shape with that. So I think we're in really, really, really good shape.
Yeah, the offense. I don't know how many receivers we have on the roster currently, but I
Yeah,
feel like it's at least 10, and
yeah,
all 10 guys are going to want to play. So I don't know how
yeah.
that's going to work. I am interested to see how, I think his name is Sturdivant. It's
Yes,
a wide receiver transfer from UCLA.
yes.
He was somewhat highly regarded, kind of like Badger. I have no reason to not believe he's going to come in right away and be a contributor. Mizell coming back, Tank Hawkins, Abrams. Now,
Wilson,
I forget about Wilson.
Wilson.
Wilson's coming back. And then we have most people are saying the best receiver recruiting haul in the country
I agree.
with Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson, Nashawn Montgomery. We got another guy, Muzikaro or something.
Yeah,
So
Tonka Kara. Yeah,
we're bringing in 4 receivers. I didn't even want Jonte Cook to visit us because we don't have any room for Jonte Cook, that 5-star transfer from Texas who visited us, ended up going to Washington. But we've got a full room there. And as far as running backs, full room as well. With Baugh and Jacoby Jackson coming back. Byron, I don't know if it's Lewis or Louis, is a running back uh, freshman that
right.
just signed. Supposed to be very, very good. DJ got. It's interesting. We signed a transfer from I think it was like
Charlotte,
Charlotte,
Charlotte. Yeah,
and they were number 1 and number 2 in deep passing percentage in the
Yeah.
country. So we will continue to look deep. And I will say a few things about, and we have that Trammell Jones guy that is coming in, a true freshman that flipped from Florida State as a quarterback. He's highly regarded in all
Right.
recruiting services,
Right.
high 4-star, 5-star in some places. DJ's stats on the year, he was only 115 for 192. So
Yeah.
it's 60%, which is decent, but I think he's part of that is he looks deep first to shallow, as opposed to a lot of quarterbacks look shallow first to deep.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that. He did have 12 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
He made a couple of really bad interceptions in the bowl game, which we won 33-8
Yeah.
convincingly. But he will have to, like Mertz, for instance, in his limited action this year, he was once again very efficient 72 for 94 for 76.6%, 6 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. That one pick six, Badger could have caught that ball, so it could have easily been 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. But that's a give and take type of thing because Mertz very rarely threw it deep. Mertz very rarely took chances that
Yeah.
DJ takes.
Yeah.
And with the chances that DJ takes deep, that opens it up for everybody. So all 3 of our running backs prospered from that.
Yes.
Baugh averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Johnson, 5.9 yards per carry. Jacoby Jackson, 5.4 yards per carry. Some of that was predicated on the fact that the defenses had to back up with DJ throwing it deep and throwing it deep well, not really overthrowing, throwing completed passes for over 20 yards.
And
So,
one of the things I really like is this guy, our tight end, Hayden Hansen.
yes.
He played in all 13 games, but he didn't. He only received 207 yards, but it was more than Boardingham. But the other thing is that we have another couple of tight ends, one that's coming in and a guy that looks like he's going to transfer in. So we're going to have enough weapons,
Oh,
okay, offensively. We're going to have and listen, we all know that players go down. For the first time that I can remember in a very, very long time, we have reserves that are almost as good as the starters. I mean, so
except at quarterback. I don't know about quarterback yet. I don't know
well,
that guy from Charlotte. Let's trust Billy with that get. I don't
his
know how good
his
Trammell
numbers
Jones is.
were his numbers were almost mirrored what Lagway's numbers were. So we know what we're getting. I mean, he wasn't playing in the highest conference, but with the transfer coming in, I mean, the guy who was going to go to Florida State and is now coming to us.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that we got a good base right now from where we were last year because we were in trouble.
What Yes, in all the positions except for quarterback, because we
Yeah.
had Mertz coming back and we had DJ Lagway, a 5-star all-world everything, backing him up. So, but at the quarterback spot, I love Lagway. He is a
I
once in
don't
a
I don't think
generation.
I don't think we're done yet with the transfer. I think they're still looking for one more quarterback, knowing that this guy's going to come in and he's going to be a reserve.
We'll see, because DJ was battling injury the entire year,
Yes,
and
yes,
we haven't seen DJ. He came in as a dual threat. For more than half the season, he was not allowed to run, wasn't supposed to run because
yeah,
of the hamstring.
right.
And given the fact that he wasn't 70% and went 4-0 in his last 4 games was pretty damn impressive. But I still, when he was healthy, he didn't look super elusive as a runner.
Well, let me ask you this: with what we're loaded in, as far as next year, as far as offensively, okay. Thank God that Slaughter decided, hey, I'm sticking around for my senior year. My God, that guy, All American, he could have left. He could have gone into the portal. Our
Slaughter.
center stays. I
Yeah.
mean, that is huge, okay.
Yes.
And we got a lot of linemen that are sticking, and we got a couple of freshmen that are coming in. So with the backfield, the wide receivers, the tight ends, okay, we're not going to have Lagway run very, very, very much, okay? Because we have other people to do those things.
No,
All right.
I don't want.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
what I saw when he was healthy, he's definitely mobile. He's
Yeah.
incredible in the pocket,
Yeah.
like shifting and moving up and moving back. We won't need him to run. I don't want him to run because in the
No.
pocket he's pretty special. As far as defense, let me go over defense real quick, and then we'll go
Yeah.
over some of our favorite games, favorite plays, and all that.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went to 2025 first
Quickly.
up. So
Quickly.
yeah, because we are ready for that season.
Because let's play now.
We are going to try and outscore people. That
Yes.
will be our defense. I don't know. Have you heard anything from Tyreek Sapp yet?
Not yet. The good news is that it's all quiet on the Western Front, so that's a good thing. Just keep it low right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so our defense played lights out for the last 5, 6 games. Just incredible effort, execution, very few penalties, stopped everyone that came in their path, whether they were big time running teams, big time passing teams. They did it all. But we are losing Cam Jackson up front.
Right.
Caleb Banks is coming back. Huge that he's coming back. I think he would be drafted in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
If Tyreek Sapp comes back, wow. But we are losing the guy that I hated for 4 years and then played really good this year up until injury, Jason Marshall.
Yeah.
Draquezy Bridges, who was
He
amazing.
actually led us in tackles.
Yeah. So he's going pro. And then I don't know about Devin Moore. Devin Moore's coming back?
Devin Moore is supposed to come back. The one that's going to leave is Shamar James. He's already
Well,
put
yeah,
his name
Shamar
in.
James. So as far as cornerback,
Well,
we've got
here's what I have. We're losing Cam Jackson, Pyburn, James, Bridges. Then we're going to lose Desmond Watson because he's a senior. We're going to lose Wingo, who's a senior,
Dingo.
and we're huh?
You said Dingo, yeah.
Yeah, I know Dingo. Yeah, and Douglas, who's also a senior, free safety.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about linebacker. We are good. Pyburn, have a good time at LSU. It's going to be a tough game in LSU because of what they've brought to the table. But
Well,
Pyburn was
the one that I wish we didn't lose was Searcy. I wish Searcy would have stuck around, but he went portal and he's gone.
Yeah, Searcy is a loss. I'm going to be
Yeah.
missing Searcy. I'm missing Bridges. I thought he could have had one more year to up his stock because he's not really even projected in the top 5 rounds. So he could have used one. So
Searcy's going to Texas A&M, and the other one is Justice Boone is going to Arkansas.
that's fine. With Caleb Banks, if Sapp comes back, we got a transfer edge who's highly thought of coming in. We have
We have
two of the
Stubbs,
highest ranked
Hayward,
safeties.
and Hanks. Those 3. Stubbs, Hayward, and Banks, all freshmen coming in. They're all solid.
Laganza Howard.
Howard, yeah.
Oh, yeah, those guys are going to be playing right away. So the question marks for me will be defense and then depth at quarterback. If we can keep DJ healthy, if DJ plays every single game, Pops, we're going to compete for the playoffs. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Because our offense, I don't recall an offense being more loaded going into 2025 as it sits right now than we are. Running back, receiver, tight end. I mean, our offensive line, ugh.
Do you know that from when we started talking for the first podcast for the season 2024, I kind of told you, 8-4, we'd be really lucky to be 8-4 because we got a murderous roll schedule. We got all these teams that I don't think we could. There is nobody on that schedule. I'm telling you this right now, based on what I'm looking at right now. I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't care if it's Texas. I don't care if it's Georgia. I don't care what you got. Okay.
All right, we'll go into that we'll go into that at the very end.
Yeah.
So let's go into who shined, who didn't. For me, DJ shined. Jason Marshall came out of nowhere. Jaden Baugh, Mizell had his times.
Right.
Badger was a huge get. Caleb Banks, Cam Jackson. I think
I'll
at
tell you what.
linebacker,
I'll tell you who I think you're going to be surprised that I like. Jordan Castell. I thought
yeah.
he played pretty damn good. As a sophomore, we might lose him next year, but we got a full year of this guy, and he really came to play last year.
Yeah, and then three sophomore sensations to be will be Aaron Childs, linebacker,
Yes.
Miles Graham, linebacker, and
Yes.
LJ McCray, edge, linebacker, whatever he wants to play. So we're young. We are very exciting. I don't know who didn't shine, who I didn't like. Boardingham didn't have the year I thought he was going to have.
No, no, and I think he got frustrated because he wasn't getting the ball. If I look at my numbers here, you know, it was pretty sad. He only had 128 yards receiving for the entire year,
Yeah, that's. I mean, the
and
first
the
three
year
games.
before he had like 4 or 5 touchdowns as a freshman.
Yeah, the first three games, no, everyone did not shine.
Right.
Napier was awful in the first 3 or 4 games. The defense was a sieve in the first 3 or 4 games, and it all turned around. Favorite game of the year, Pops? What was your favorite game of the year? I'll tell
Well,
you,
well,
my
I'll tell you. There's a couple obviously, but I want to break it down to one. So to me, my favorite game of the year was beating LSU.
all right, yeah,
That because we weren't supposed to beat them, okay? And I remember telling you, before we played LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State, whatever bowl,
right.
I said we could go undefeated the rest of the way.
After DJ said he was good enough to play, yes.
Yep. Yep.
The LSU game was my 1A. My one was Ole Miss beating Lane Kiffin and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
his ass, his arrogant ass, and in the swamp. Very, very good. Loved
My
it.
my number one play, okay, of the year was coincided with what I just said. We were winning 20-16 against LSU. We were at second down about 8, okay? And a little swing pitch to Baugh, and Baugh goes 55 yards for the touchdown. Then you knew the game was over because there just wasn't enough time for them for 2 scores to come back. That was my number one play of
Yeah,
the year.
and the swamp went crazy and beating Brian Kelly. That's why they're 1A. I dislike Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly quite a bit. So
What was
those
your number
two.
one play?
My favorite play, and I'm going to do my least favorite play as well. My favorite play of the season, Pops,
Yeah,
was in the Georgia game, the series before DJ got hurt. He threw a bomb to Aiden Mizell for a touchdown.
yeah.
That play alone, I know I'm dramatic, always been about everything in my life. I will continue to be in certain areas. That play alone, my entire body, my entire brain went to complete positive thoughts, and we are learning to fly. We are climbing the mountain because we were winning the game in the second quarter. Our defense was playing at a high level. Georgia has been the baddest boy in town for the last 5 years. We have a true freshman quarterback who is throwing to a freshman or sophomore, I forget what he is, a receiver that's coming back next year, and we're winning the game. We're probably going to beat Georgia at that point. Carson
My
Beck didn't look good. Now listen. Hold on one second.
yeah. You're on a roll.
Yeah, that was my favorite play. Now, it kind of reminded me when I was going over this, my favorite play and least favorite play. It reminded me of the movie City Slickers, Pops.
Oh, yeah.
At one point in City Slickers, they're riding around on the range and they're talking about their best day and their worst day.
Correct.
And they go to Bruno Kirby and they say, Bruno, what was your best day? He goes, my best day? Something like, my dad came home, he was drinking again. And I said, that was enough. Okay, that's enough. I took my mom. I was old enough to say, this is enough. We're leaving. And I became the man of the house, got my mom away from the pain that she was suffering. That was my best day. And then Daniel Stern's character says, that was your best day. What was your worst day? And he goes, same day. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So my favorite play was the Georgia play, the bomb, and
Yeah.
in the same game was DJ going down
Yeah.
because it was the same game. Because as excited as I was for what the future held in the present and the future with our quarterback, with our young team, we are ascending, we are rising, we are trending up, we are climbing the mountain.
Okay. So
It all came tumbling down in my mind, my
yeah.
dramatic mind. So I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's done for the year.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose the rest of our
Yeah.
games. A
Yeah.
bunch of guys are gonna leave. DJ stuck it out. I love DJ Lagway
Yeah.
almost as much as any player just through 1 year as I ever have. Go ahead.
I'll give my second and third real quick because I looked on mine. You said three. So on two, my second one was it's 3rd and 18. There's 40 seconds left in the game. We're losing 17-10 to Tennessee, and we're at their 26-yard line. And he throws a dime to DK with 36 seconds left to tie the game. Okay, that was my second. My third favorite play, okay, fourth quarter, 4th and 1. This team is at the UF 10-yard line, and this guy was 12 for 12, making first downs coming off the bench. JJ Pegas, the defensive tackle for
Ole Miss.
comes in, and we stopped him.
Yep.
He carried the ball 3 times to try to make touchdown, and he gained 6 yards. That stop alone, that was my third favorite play of the game, of the whole season.
So I asked you for 3 favorite plays. I only have. I mean, there's a bunch of favorite plays. I only had one. So we've kind of gone over everything as far as
Let me go to
2020.
my worst. You went to your worst. Let me go to my worst.
Okay.
DJ getting hurt leading
Yeah.
was my second. My
Okay.
worst was not going for 2 in Tennessee with
Oh,
36 seconds to go on the road with momentum at your back. Go for 2.
I
That was my worst play of the year.
I think in association with the
Would
the
you agree?
title of this episode, Billy's coming along.
Yes.
Billy's coming along. I have to imagine, hindsight's 2020. He can go back. He would have went for 2 there. He thought about it, and then they called timeout, and then he went back to his conservative self. In the bowl game, he had 3 or 4 trick plays. I'm like, where the hell has this been? So he was having fun in the bowl game, which was awesome. He gave Desmond the ball.
The
Desmond
first
strikes the
the first
Heisman
the
pose.
first play of the year of the game was a trick play.
Well, he was having some fun, and I really liked that. The bowl game, let me say something about the bowl game. I thought it was kind
Yeah.
of interesting in that it was his second bowl game. The first bowl game was at the end of his first year, and we couldn't score the entire game and scored at the very end. In this bowl game, to show our upward momentum, the other team couldn't score until the very end of the game. So it's all flipping around, Pops.
It,
I feel it
it,
flipping
it
around.
is. It is. But, going for 2, and this is another rule they have to change in the NFL, okay? There's been 4 teams in the last 3 weeks that have tied and lost the flip of the coin, and the team went down and scored, and that was it. I mean, yesterday was a perfect example. I mean, they scored with 40 seconds to go. Go for 2. What you might not get the ball. As it turned out, they didn't get the ball and they lost. I mean, when you get a chance at the end of the game and you
Yeah.
just scored and you got all momentum going, listen, you might lose anyway in overtime, but at least give it a shot in regulation.
If I'm a coach on any level, I have 30 plays from 2 and 3 yards out. 30 plays that I run over and over and over and
Yeah.
over and over. How many games do you see in college or the NFL where it's first and goal on the 2, or second and goal on 3, third and goal on the 1, or the 2-point conversion? So yes, it was a fun year. It was a trying year to begin with. Overall, I just love the fact that we are headed in the right direction.
Yes.
And most of our stars stayed. Billy gets one more year at least. I think going into 2025, there is one game alone. You mentioned this briefly a couple minutes ago. There is only one game that really, really scares me. One. It's at LSU. I do not think there's a small chance because we have DJ, we've got a great group of young players, but it's a very little chance we win that game. It will be at night. They've got their quarterback coming back. They've got the best transfer in haul of anybody in the nation. Guys from everywhere, including two of our guys. One of our other cornerbacks that left, something Jackson, was one of the best cornerbacks, most sought after
Yeah.
cornerbacks in the portal. He's going with Pyburn to go along with all their, and he had a big time recruiting class. It's going to be very
Nothing.
difficult to beat them in
Nothing.
LSU.
Nothing. When I look at this team, this coming up in 2025. Nothing, no team scares me. Not LSU, not Ole Miss, not Texas, not Tennessee. None of these teams scare me anymore because I know what kind of offense we have. We're going to be kind of a little bit, not as bad, but a little bit like Miami. We're just going to outscore people, okay, until we get the defense set. You know, it is what it is. You can't keep everybody, and the thing is,
Yeah.
if nothing else, it showed one thing, okay. Kelly, okay, is understanding that when he left Notre Dame saying, you just can't win at Notre Dame. You can't win the big game. You can't get to the big game and all this. Well, guess what? They're going to be probably in the big game if it stands right now.
Yeah.
He's learning real quick. Trying to win in the SEC, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Well, yes. If he struggles to begin the year, if
Yeah.
they have a loss in one of their first 3 games or
Yeah.
something, there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on him and the program, just like it was on Florida. The best news about our schedule going into next year for 2025 is the first 2 games are not really good teams. So Billy traditionally in his 4 years has started off slow for whatever reason, and the team has followed. We have, I don't want to say cupcakes, but cupcakes compared to who we've had to play in the first couple games in his previous year. So we have kind of a preseason in the first 2 games to get rolling.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
I know we have to go play it in Miami, but they lost a ton
Yeah,
of
yeah.
players.
Who do you have for our first 2 games? Do you have the schedule there?
I don't.
I don't either. But I saw you looking around. I don't think you have the schedule, but
No.
it's not Miami. I thought we were going to have to start against Miami again in Miami. It's not. It's 2. It's
I
like
know it is. It's Long Island University or
Long
something like
Island,
that.
and then it's like USF or something. So we should be 2-0 and looking good going into tough play. So that was it, Pops. That was episode 30, Learning to Fly. We hadn't done this in a month. We both struggled to articulate, but that's
We had as much fun and enthusiasm and excitement as the very first episode, knowing what we thought we had, okay? And we didn't have it until the end of the season, but now we know what we have. We all agree that we're pretty loaded. And you know what? It's kind of nice to watch a basketball team back to where we used to be. And I will tell you, I told you Saturday, it was probably a good loss for us against Kentucky, at Kentucky. I will tell you, we will have all systems go Tuesday night against the Vols when they come into town and play in the O-Dome.
As far as football goes, I think it was the best turnaround I've ever seen in my 30 plus years of being a fan of Florida football.
Yeah.
The best turnaround in a season I've ever seen. So enjoyable to see us win those last 4 games against teams I really didn't like, and seeing all our stars, most of them stay, getting a great recruiting class at the very end, flipping guys from all over the big schools, Florida State, flipping guys from Alabama. It was incredible. As far as basketball goes, Pops, I think we're going to take a little break. We're going to call this season 1. This is our season 1 finale Chomp Time podcast. Who knows what happens in the future? We're all blessed to have today and tomorrow.
There you go.
I look forward to doing 2025 season with you as well in our season 2 of the Chomp Time podcast going over Florida football. We will do season 2, our opening episode of season 2 will be before the NCAA tournament. I think it's going to be March 17th of this year, 2025, as we will preview the tournament, a dance that we will definitely be in. We are 13-1. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we play number 1 Tennessee in the O-Dome. Florida sports is back. Our baseball team is good. Our softball team is good. Our big 2 sports are good. Everything's good, Pop.
We have a 5-star woman basketball player that, as a freshman, who's lighting it up right now, and it's kind of entertaining to see that we got some strength going there too. So
the Everything School is back, and episode 30, Learning to Fly. In no time, we'll be at the top of the mountain again. So in the meantime, come on, Gators!
get up and go!
Take care, everybody.